Hi, my name is Eva Kramer, and as you can tell, I have laryngitis. So everybody's going to have to listen very carefully. I want to thank everybody for coming. This is an extremely important day for us, and I have to try to get through this without crying. And it's thanks to everybody in this room that this happened. We absolutely could not have done it without all of your help, and it means so much to me that you're here. We have a very special program with very special speakers, and then we're going to have the ribbon cutting, and then we're going to go tour the incubator, and you're going to meet our wonderful companies. Many of them are in the room, and I think you will find them to be absolutely wonderful and doing wonderful work. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our president, Dr. John Williams.
Thank you, Eva, and good morning to everyone. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming to this milestone event, the ribbon cutting for the third and final phase of Downstate's Biotechnology Incubator. With the official opening of this last section of the building, the incubator has more than doubled in size to over 50,000 square feet and is currently home to over 20 companies and growing quickly. Now, I would also, at this stage, would like to thank those who have supported us from the very beginning. And I'd like to start with the branches of the government, the federal government, state government, and city government. The federal government, including Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, I don't know if she's here. If she is, please stand. The governor and lieutenant governor, the borough president's office, including Borough President Eric Adams and his deputy borough president Diana Reyna. State legislatures such as Marty Golden, and I don't know if Marty's here yet. City council legislators such as Matthew Eugene, who is here and has been a staunch supporter. And of course, the State University of New York, represented by the chairman of the board, Carl McCall. Without all of your support, this would not have been possible. In addition, none of this happens without the help and hard work of the various federal, state, and city agencies who administer these funds. Will representatives of the Economic Development Administration, the Empire State Development Corporation, and the New York City Economic Development Corporation please stand and be recognized. Without the architect, N.K. Croxton Collaborative, the engineer, Callan and Lemelson, and the construction company, H.M. Hughes, this beautiful building would not exist. And finally, without the wonderful companies at our incubator, and we have now over 23 companies, would representatives of those companies please stand? Without these companies, none of these exciting new innovations would happen or could have happened. I'm proud to say that the Downstate Incubator offers state-of-the-art, affordable scientific space in a nurturing, supporting environment with convenient access to downstate facilities, such as the medical scientific library, specialized research facilities, and the ability to work with downstate scientists, clinicians, and students to advance their discoveries and perform clinical trials. In addition, the incubator is a certified business incubator of the state of New York State, and as such is a part of Startup New York, which allows companies to operate in a state and city-free tax business zone. We currently have 12 companies that are participating in the Startup New York program. And we have a line of other companies, probably about 6 more, that are applying for Startup New York. Recognizing that successful biotech companies would eventually require larger space, and there was no space in New York City for more mature biotechnology companies, SUNY Downstate, working with the New York City Economic Development Corporation and the Research Foundation for SUNY, developed BioBat at the Brooklyn Army Terminal. Like the Incubator, BioBat development is occurring in phases as funds are raised, and the first phase, with 38,000 square feet, is completely occupied. Phase 2, with an additional 85,000 square feet, is now leasing. IRX, a company currently at the Incubator, is scheduled to move into this space in the spring. When all phases are complete, BioBat will total 524,000 square feet and is expected to create over 1,000 new jobs. The workforce development programs that we developed have been successfully preparing college and graduate students to work in the biotech industry. They align academic training with industry needs and encourage entrepreneurship. These programs provide the workforce for the future and tie the benefits back to our community. The success and strong demand for biotechnology space at the Biotechnology Incubator and at BioBat demonstrate that this initiative has helped the biotech industry take root in New York, and in particular in Brooklyn. The symbiotic relationships that we originally envisioned are developing between companies and Downstate. In addition, these benefits extend to our patients who now have access to new cutting-edge medical treatment and devices. We expect this momentum to continue, with the biotech initiative creating many more high-quality jobs, offering new educational opportunities for our students, stimulating entrepreneurship at the medical center, and developing medical innovations that will dramatically transform people's lives. I want to stop there and personally thank Eva Kramer for all of her hard work. And I'd like to special welcome to Senator Marty Golden for joining us. And Eva, I'll turn it over to you. Thank you all very much.
Okay, we will continue, and the next speaker is Lieutenant Governor Kathy Hochul.
Thank you, Eva, and I hope your voice gets better. I've had that occupational hazard a few times myself, a little talking too much, but this is a great day, a spectacular day here in Brooklyn, because we are celebrating, first of all, the fruition of your vision that you had over 15 years ago, and I doubt there are a lot of people in this community who thought you could pull this off. So I was introduced to you as the mother of this project. I want to tell you, your children are doing very well. You should be proud of them. None of them seem to have gotten into trouble, and as they graduate on, I hope you carry with them a warm place in your heart for what you did, and we are transformed as a result of your willingness to have this idea, but also making it come to reality. So again, on behalf of the governor, thank you, and thank you, Dr. Williams, for allowing this to occur in this incredible environment here in Brooklyn. And there are so many amazing partners, and you mentioned a few, but I'd be remiss not to mention a couple. Having a borough president like Eric Adams at your side is tremendous to have your partnership. The governor truly appreciates that as well. And a person whose legacy of public service goes back generations. We'll never forget your many contributions as you continue them. Carl McCall, thank you very much for your leadership at SUNY. And I think you all know this, that you have a very high-energy, ideas-driven deputy borough president in Diana Reyna. So thank you, Diana. I look forward to working with you as well. It also takes a great partner in the legislature, and to have Senator Marty Golden here, who does not represent this area, but he represents in his heart as I see him travel all across the state of New York to promote his position as chair of the committee that has oversight, and his belief that we can transform our economy by investing in innovation and technology. So thank you so much, Senator, for all your great work. And as council member as well, I also want to thank you, Councilmember Eugene, for your support here. But also from our team, I want to recognize Leslie Watley, who is the heart and soul of the Startup New York initiative. You've seen this all over the state of New York. I really have a fun job. I get to travel the state of New York as chairperson of the New York State Regional Economic Development Council, so I've seen it all. But I can't tell you, I never can see too much of Brooklyn. I have a staffer, Jeff Lewis, who lives in Brooklyn, so somehow every single week I am in Brooklyn, seeing all his favorite places to go to, so it's been great. I was just here last week. Tomorrow we'll be visiting the Navy Yard once again. But there is so much going on here, and perhaps sometimes it takes an outsider to come in and tell you, first of all, how cool this is here. Despite the traffic, we had little problems this morning, but despite the traffic, that's actually a good problem to have because that means people want to be here. So embrace the traffic problems. But the way that you've been able to attract the brilliant minds that are represented by your entrepreneurs here, I mean, truly, in today's economy and with innovation, they can go anywhere on the planet. We know that. I mean, they may be born here, but they are being lured and pulled in other directions constantly, other states, other countries. So the governor and I, in case you haven't figured this out, we're very competitive people. We don't want to lose. We want to make sure that we retain our reputation as the Empire State, but let's even take it to another level. And as we embrace technology businesses, biotech, we can do that. And that's why programs like this Incubator, to help you get that start and nurture you along the way and have that alignment with the opportunities afforded by SUNY Downstate, to have the relationships, the student interns, to have the faculty advice, to have all that in one place to help you grow. And then to have a home for you here in Brooklyn when you take your next baby steps as you continue to expand your businesses. And then we want to make sure that we want you to stay in Brooklyn, but if you're getting pulled to another state because you need 1 million square feet for your production, or as you continue to grow, then there's also other parts of upstate New York that we want to introduce you to. So we want to make sure that you stay right here in the state of New York, and a program like this allows us to have those incentives, as well as the Startup New York program, which is the envy of other states. I know that the governor of Texas comes here and Governor of Florida, they're all trying to take our businesses away. And all we have to do is say, no, we have Startup New York, which is much more than simply in a tax abatement program, because it's an alignment between your business and the resources of a university. And this is what's brilliant on the part of the governor, to figure that out. We can throw tax incentives at you, fine, that's great. But the way you can really take your business and your idea and to promote your entrepreneurship, you need an alignment with an academic institution. And we have them all over the state of New York, but they are doing it right here at SUNY Downstate. 20 businesses right now and continuing to grow. That is amazing. That's got to be a record for the state of New York. So I want to, what's going on out there? I want to say how proud I am of this program. The governor wants to continue to invest in it. But also, as I travel the state, I no longer hear from businesses complain saying the taxes are too high, you're anti-business. The number one problem that businesses have in the state of New York, they need a skilled workforce to step into the jobs that they create. And that's actually a good problem to have, because we're delighted you created the jobs. Our unemployment rate has plummeted under Governor Cuomo and the leadership of our Senate and our Assembly. It has gone down dramatically. So now we're scrambling for the human capital. So to have the training program that Dr. Williams referenced, to be able to have graduate programs and also your alignment with Hunter College for the undergraduates, that's what we have to stay on top of, and making sure that we have the students trained in the skills that these entrepreneurs need to take their businesses to the next level. So I'm here to say we get it. We understand your challenges. We want to continue to be a long-term partner of yours as you continue to grow in the state of New York. And the state of New York will continue putting our money where our mouth is and supporting initiatives like this from the very conception to the continued growth that we anticipate from every one of you. So I'm delighted to be here. It's a big day in Brooklyn, and let's continue the celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That was a great speech. I'd like to now introduce SUNY Board of Trustees Chairman Carl McCall.
Thank you very much. Let me ask you this. Did anybody think in mid-December we could be in an unheated tent out here in Brooklyn? So I'd like some of the scientists here to explain all this and to explain it to those people in Washington who still don't believe in global warming, all right? Good morning. I'm just so pleased to be here for this important event. I'm particularly pleased to be here with so many leaders of government, from business, from the community. Lieutenant Governor, thank you for your message, but thank you and the governor for your credible leadership in terms of turning things around in New York and making New York a state that's friendly to businesses, that help businesses and help develop these relationships between the business community and academia. I want to thank Senator Golden for his support. And let me tell you, during the dark days at Downstate, when we had serious problems with an organization called Litch that I won't mention, there was nobody who was more helpful than the borough president, who then was Senator Adams. Eric, I just want to thank you personally for the great support that you gave to us at SUNY. You know, this is all about leadership. These things don't just happen. They happen because you have the right leaders with the right vision, the right dedication, and the right experience. And that's what Dr. Williams brought to Brooklyn. He came to Downstate at our darkest hour, but his leadership turned things around. And his leadership made it possible for us to be here today in terms of this celebration. And you know, the mission of Downstate is so important. It's a great part of the State University of New York. And just think about their mission to educate medical professionals, most of whom continue to be medical professionals right here in Brooklyn, to do cutting-edge research that turns into flourishing communities and economic empowerment. And thirdly, to continue to bring about first-class medical services to an underserved community in Brooklyn. These are the things that happen at Downstate, and they've happened under the leadership of Dr. Williams. So I just want to say today, thank you, Dr. Williams, for your leadership, your commitment to Downstate, your commitment to SUNY, your commitment to the Brooklyn community. Leadership makes a difference, and your leadership has made a difference in Brooklyn, and that's why we are all here today to celebrate this great new innovation that has come about to create jobs, to create opportunities, to create new research. Nothing like this is happening anywhere else in the country. And Governor Cuomo, Lieutenant Governor, and others who have pushed this and made it happen, we are very grateful to all of them. But Dr. Williams, you are the point person. Thank you for what you've done for all of us.
Now I'd like to introduce Borough President Eric Adams.
Thank you so much. And Bob, I think the Lieutenant Governor has really made it clear on how this has been a team effort. And if I could just put an asterisk on my former colleague in the State Senate, Senator Golden. Really, I say it over and over when I'm at a microphone, when we do these ribbon cuttings. Senator Golden, for a long time, has held down Brooklyn and made sure that Brooklyn received their share. And so I really appreciate what you have done throughout the years as a former colleague and for what he has done. This is, it's about cutting the ribbon, so I just want to be extremely brief. But, you know, this is an 1883 moment. That was the year that the Brooklyn Bridge opened. And that was the moment in time when people thought it was impossible to connect the two bodies of two important entities in the city of New York, Brooklyn, and Manhattan. And on the first day when people stepped on that structure, they were afraid that it was going to collapse, it was going to fall, and they had to get over their fear. And now that we have these 20-somewhat companies that are part of this biotech center, small startups that will eventually grow to go into our biobat and eventually grow to become part of larger companies in the city and the state of New York. This is the moment where we must continue to build these bridges. And not only will the opportunities of the companies continue to grow, but the people who benefit from that. These are not my dollars, these are taxpayers' dollars. When we have a symbiotic relationship between putting dollars inside companies that produce qualitative products that taxpayers can benefit from, that's a winning solution for government. We're doing it the right way, and we're doing what is important, allowing taxpayers to see their results. More Than a Tree is growing in Brooklyn. More Than a Tree is growing in Brooklyn. Companies are growing in Brooklyn. Jobs will grow in Brooklyn. We will go after the double-digit unemployment that is in many of these communities, particularly in this area here. Here are the opportunities for people to see in the inner cities, in the inner villages and communities in the state of New York. We are finding winnable solutions that people can understand. They are not outsiders, they are insiders, and government can be successful for that. And I want to thank the Lieutenant Governor. The Lieutenant Governor has made it clear that we're in one state. She has crisscrossed this state and spent many days in Brooklyn to learn how do we do it right. If you want to be a good shepherd, you have to smell like a sheep. You cannot be out in the field somewhere, be among the people, and understand how to be a great shepherd. And you're a great shepherd, and we appreciate you for that. Lastly, one of the best acquisitions I made when I became the borough president is that I picked up a deputy borough president who was knowledgeable and understanding. I said, Diana, look at this and figure out how do we do it right? How do we use our capital dollars to make this grow? And Diana looked at this project and she said, this is a winning project, and we are a better borough because we have a better deputy borough president. Thank you, Diana. Thank you for the things that you do. So let me just conclude and just read one or two sentences from this proclamation. On behalf of all Brooklynites, 2.6 million of them, 47% of them speak a language other than English at home. This is the United Nation of New York City. I commend everyone involved with the development of SUNY Downstate Medical Center Biotechnology Incubator for their commitment to ensure the new biotechnology advancements are made to discover new ways to improve the health and well-being of residents in our great borough and beyond. Congratulations, job well done. Continue to do great things in Brooklyn, and we will all benefit from it. Thank you very much.
That was a wonderful speech. And it was an introduction to the Deputy Borough President, Diana Reyna.
Eric always wins twice when we're both in the room. And so I just wanted to continue the words of our borough president. Eric has continuously mentioned since day one how he wants to be the connector. Marty did his great concerts. Marty wanted what would be Brooklyn on the map globally. And the days of Marty is the foundation. The days of Eric are the days ahead. And the days ahead leave no one behind. And we are making sure that this borough will continue to go to the farthest of corners and making sure that there is opportunity. This particular biotech industry model that Dr. Kramer had envisioned, had birthed, has nurtured, was simply a concept where government probably laughed at her door more than once. And sitting at Economic Development Committee hearings when I was a council member for 12 years, and understanding as we noticed the growth and poured investment of dollars. And during those days, I had the pleasure of serving with Marty Golden. So Marty has had the pleasure of serving with both Eric and I at different capacities. But to understand that we are that much greater of a borough. People are discovering Brooklyn as if Brooklyn just got on the map. It has always been here. Now our greatest challenge, more than ever before, is making sure that a company like Cineris, who started at the biotech industry as a startup, can continue to remain in this borough. We cannot outzone ourselves out of manufacturing space. We have to protect it. We have to invest into it. We have to make sure that we're making it affordable and readapt it to 21st century industry. That is what this borough will be. That is what is becoming. That is the commitment of Borough President Adams and I. It is important that you also understand SUNY Downstate is the medical center, the only medical center of this borough. And we have to fight tooth and nail to making sure that its doors will continue to remain open. And that commitment comes from the very top at the governor's office. And thank you to Lieutenant Governor Hochul and Carl McCall, who has spearheaded what is this particular venture of making sure that we are making the SUNY Downstate Medical Center the epicenter of medicine, of innovation, of medical careers, of researchers that are going to lead this nation. And so that is where our pride begins and ends when we continue to invest in biotech industry. And make no mistake, Borough President Adams and I will continue to fight for SUNY Downstate Medical Center. And thank you to all the staff who are here, the deans representing each of those departments, because the time is now. Education cannot continue the path it has for Brooklyn children. Borough President Adams and I have worked with what has been a pipeline creating what is the adapting of schools from cradle to career, is how we're going to make sure that biotech industry will leave no one behind, that it will cross every community, that it will discover the scientists who thought they would never see anything other than the Brownsville corner. We are making sure that every child has an opportunity for a STEM and STEAM academic background. That is the commitment we demand of every person in this room and outside of this room, influencing every child, that will influence every family, which will influence every community. Thank you to all of you for your investment, your time, your dedication, your energy, pouring into what is the greater Brooklyn, because you have made it great. Thank you so much.
As you can see, there's lots of spirit in Brooklyn. I'd now like to introduce State Senator Marty Golden.
For some strange reason, I didn't know I was speaking this morning, but I'm sure I'm not short for words. I will tell you that we did have a lot of great speakers here today, and we're here for the right reasons. This place is on fire. And Dr. Williams, that goes to you and to the great credit of a great woman in Eva, in her dream that we've actually seen and realized real opportunities here in the greatest city, in the greatest nation in the world. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Dr. Williams. And our governor and our lieutenant governor seen what was possible here and gave it the opportunity to grow. And working with Leslie Watley is unbelievable, and starting to open up opportunities here in the County of Kings to make sure that we can give those opportunities to those kids that Diana spoke of just shortly. I got to tell you, Texas, California, Massachusetts, eating our lunch, and they shouldn't be doing that. That's about to change, ladies and gentlemen. That is changing right now. That is changing here in the County of Kings. We have millions of square feet along that industrial area, along the waterfront. We are going to fill that millions of square feet with the kids that live here and go to schools here in the city of New York. And we're going to give them the opportunities that they need. Working with our borough president, working with Mr. McCall, I got to tell you, we have great leadership here, great leadership, and we have great opportunity. That biotech over in the Army Terminal, on fire. This place, on fire. These are the jobs that we're going to take back from Texas, the jobs we're going to take back from California, the new inventions that we'll come up with, the new medicines that we will discover, the lives that we will save, and the people that we will put to work. The inventions are unbelievable, what we can come here and do in this great, great city. And it's all going to happen right here, or a lot of it's going to happen right here in Brooklyn. Don't tell the governor. But We are going to set this place, because this place is on fire, ladies and gentlemen, and it's because of the people in this room, the doctors, the scientists, the teachers, the faculty, the people that make the difference day to day. Thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for all that you do. And thank you for the new inventions, the new medicines, and the new direction that Brooklyn is now taking. Thank you. Onward and upward. Downstate, you're the best. Keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And now, we're going to invite up City Council Member Matthew Eugene.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Good morning. After listening to so many great speakers, I just get, the intention to go back and close my, doors and sit back. But let me tell you, I'm so delighted to be here this morning, and I want to take the opportunity first to thank and to commend Dr. Kramer for your vision, for your tenacity, your dedication to this program. And I see vividly right now as I speak the time that when we sat together and you were trying to convince me and to make sure that, I take this great opportunity to be part of this great team. And I want to take the opportunity also to thank the leadership of Dr. Williams. Thank you so much. Thank you. Chair McCall, thank you so very much. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much. And to my colleagues, and Board President Marty, and Marty Golden, and Diana Reyna, I miss you in the City Council. She was so wonderful in the business area. She used to be the chairman of the business committee. Thank you so much. And to all of you, the partners, engineers, and architects, all of you who have worked so hard to make this day this historic day possible, thank you so much. Thank you. I've been told that I'm a very, very lucky person, and I'm a very fortunate person. That's true, because I feel blessed and fortunate to have the opportunity to serve the district where this biotech is located. This is a blessing, and I want to tell you that today is a great day, it's a history day, because this biotech is going to place Brooklyn and New York City in the leadership position in the biotechnology world. And this is a great investment for the future, a good investment for the generation to come. And we all know, and I say that several times, there's so many diseases that we don't even know nothing about them. We don't know how to treat them, what to do. And now we can have the hope that one day in this biotechnology center, we are going to discover the mysteries of many diseases. To conclude, let me say that this is a pleasure for me. This is an honor for me to be here. And this is, again, the testimony of working together. There is nothing we cannot do. Thank you very much. God bless you.
Thank you so much. And now I'd like to introduce Leslie Watley, who's the Executive Vice President for Startup New York.
Thank you, Eva. I must say, I am extremely proud to be here, and I'm proud in two ways. One, I am really proud of this program, and it was the vision of the governor that took something so simple but so brilliant that created the opportunity for this program. It took the assets that this state has that is second to none. The university system in this state, 64 state universities and over 100 privates, the talent that we have in this state. We produce over 40,000 STEM grads a year, and spaces like this, and get the public-private partnerships to work together so that those 40,000 STEM grads that we produce stay here, work here, pursue their science here. That's what it's all about. And my friends, it is working here, and it is working in total. We have announced to date 142 companies in this program that are going to produce almost 4,000 jobs and spend over $184 million, and I'm telling you that imminently that number is going to go bigger. Dr. Williams announced that we have 12 companies that have been approved, but imminently that number is going to go bigger. And the companies that have committed to coming to Downstate Medical alone have said that in the next 5 years, they are going to create over 340 jobs, and they are going to invest over $21 million here in Brooklyn, and it's huge. And I will tell you, my vocabulary is a little different. Eva is a rock star, okay? Eva, not only does she have like 2 PhDs and can like do all kinds of science, she understood that the biomedical industry starts small and grows, and it grows over a long period of time. The gestation period for biomed companies is really long. So she created a system here where we start in a little space, and then we move into a bigger space. Then we move into a bigger space. She is doing on a micro basis here what we are trying to do in the state of New York, which is create an entire ecosystem for innovation. And she is a great example of how that is working and how it is working really well to keep the jobs and the science here. And I will tell you, we are going to let 3 of the companies that are in startups speak for themselves. The tax program is obviously great. You come here, you create the jobs, you affiliate with the school, and you have no taxes for 10 years. What does that help them do? That helps them reduce their operating expenses, so while they're getting on their feet and while they're growing and investing, they have a reduced level of expense. But then they stay here and are successful here. And I will also tell you that if we ask these companies and we ask the other companies around the state, they'll say they came for the taxes, but what is just, if not more meaningful to them, is the relationship that they are creating with the universities, the partnerships that they're creating with the universities, and how the university, who is usually the largest employer and one of the most well-respected and networked entities in the community, is helping them get launched in the community. If you are a company from out of state or out of country and you're coming to New York, it can be a fairly daunting thing. But if your partner is one of the most respected members of the community and one of the most well-connected, what a better way to do it. With that, I'd like to turn things back over to Eva, who, again, gets my vote. Thank you.
Okay, so we're coming to a very important part in the program where you'll hear from our companies. And we're going to start with Jeff Wang from IRX Therapeutics.
So, good morning. I'm going to keep my remarks brief so we get to the ribbon cutting. But Eva asked me to talk a little bit about success at the Incubator. But before I get into that, I want to say my parents immigrated from China to New York. I was born and raised in the Bronx of New York City. I went to the public school system. So I am a product of what was invested in New York City all those years back. And so after I had a successful career in banking and I came to biotech, part of my mission was to give back to the city, to the communities that helped me and other immigrants be successful in the U.S. So part of that was, of course, I'm not going to thank everybody, but we wouldn't be here as a company without the ongoing support from the state and the city, and I will get back to Eva and Dr. Williams in a second. We wouldn't be here. Let me give you a short example of that. We were in New York a few years ago. Governor Rick Scott called me and said he was going to be in New York. Would I take a meeting with him? And of course, he was trying to recruit us for Florida. So little old IRX, 9 employees, here comes the governor of Florida. We, of course, courteously took the meeting, and under prior management, there was a decision taken to move to Florida, okay? But we're here today, so the story ends very well. Under current management, we've made a commitment to stay in New York. We are part of the Startup New York program. We're very happy to be here. So let me get to the success part. You know, it doesn't always work out for companies like us, but it has worked out for us. We've grown from 9 employees to 25 while we were at the incubator. We expect when we move to BioBat, we will grow from 25 to maybe as many as 50. Almost all the people we've added have been residents or products of the educational system in New York. We don't have to post jobs. We just ask our friends, who do you know that's already here that can come help us? You know, so as a result, I'm happy to report we also have a very diverse workforce. Not just male, female, but in terms of the diversity that is reflective of the county of Brooklyn, the city of New York. And so that is also, you know, one of my personal objectives is to help other up-and-coming kids, I'll call them kids, you know, have some of the success that I was able to have. So the last thing I'll say in terms of success is that, you know, we are one of Eva's babies, and we are growing up, and I made a commitment to her years ago that if we could support her other project in BioBat, that we would absolutely do that. So sometime next year, we'll be going to the Army Terminal, and it has its challenges, but we're very happy to start or continue to grow the biotech center down there. So thanks to everybody here. Thanks to Dr. Williams. I know she couldn't have done it without your support, and thanks to everybody else here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And now I'd like to introduce one of our newest companies, Epibone, and Nita Tandon, who is the CEO, will speak.
All right, so I'm going to do something a little unorthodox. Imagine a world, well, close your eyes for a moment. And imagine a world where energy is converted at a rate 10,000 times more efficiently than the sun, where broken bridges repair themselves, and where batteries are alive. Okay, it sounds crazy, right? Open your eyes. The thing is, you already live in that world. All of us do. You know, mitochondria, which live in every single cell in our body, convert energy at a rate 10,000 times gram per gram more efficiently than the sun. Our bones, I'll get to that in a minute, break themselves down and repair themselves every day. And almost every single cell in our body has a voltage across it. That's like a living battery. Okay? Our bodies are miraculous, and we live in them, and we don't appreciate them. At Epibone, we put these principles to work. Bone, many people don't realize this, after blood, is the most transplanted human tissue. This is millions of procedures worldwide costing billions of dollars. And even now, when you need human bone for any of those procedures, the only way to get it is quite literally to cut it out of a human. And considering that we have billions of cells living in our bodies every day that build our bodies, why not harness the power of those cells in the lab to make new technologies that are so high-tech, they blur the distinction between what is natural and what is technology, okay? So that's what we do. And like many of our country's most innovative technologies, we got started after more than 2 decades of academic research, at our case, at Columbia University. Where's my co-founder in the back, Surin Bumaritana? This is his PhD research. We were lab mates in Gordana Vunyak-Novakovic's lab at Columbia. We started this company together. Our first home was the Harlem Biospace. Thank you to the NYC EDC for starting that space. Because as we know, science is just part of the story. And here in New York, we have all of the key ingredients. We have top-notch medical centers. We have access to financial markets. We have some of the best NIH funds that are allocated across the country. And yet we know that that's not enough. We need 2 key transformations in order to turn those technologies developed every day in academic labs into technologies that can transform our lives. What are those 2 transformations? First, we need to transform our scientists like me, the nerds in the lab. You gotta help us turn into biotechnology leaders. okay? And secondly, we have to learn how to turn our science projects into science-based companies. I think New York State and the SUNY Downstate Incubators are helping with both of those transformations. We got started with $1 million funding from the BioAccelerate program run by Sherry Ford and Maria Gotch. Amazing, bets on us. We got started in Harlem Biospace. We are recipients of the Biotechnology tax credit. We are now here in the SUNY Downstate Incubator where we have unparalleled facilities. We're now new members of Startup New York. And the Next Milestone program is another program that's helping us transform ourselves through mentorship into these leaders that we need to be. All of this is helping us amplify our investor dollars. And so far, we've had good results. We've done some key equipment purchases that we've been holding off on because saving those tax dollars has meant that we can hire more teammates. We have all of us in the back here. We've doubled the size of the team. We are now 8 people. We are so excited. We have access to the animal facilities just across the street. And we've gotten some awards. We've just been designated technology pioneers for the World Economic Forum. We've gotten coverage in CNN and Bloomberg. And next year, we're proud to host BBC on a tour of our lab. We'll be covered next year on BBC World. It's early days, but we look ahead with so much enthusiasm. I live in the zip code where I grew up. By the way, that's Roosevelt Island. New York is known for so much. Great art, great fashion, finance, and great pizza. We are an unparalleled melting pot. And at EpiBone, we are so excited to be part of the movement to add laboratories to that list of things we are known for. And more importantly, in my hometown, in the Empire State, and in the city of Never Sleeps, we are so excited to work tirelessly towards spearheading technologies that truly leverage the power of biology and our own human diversity in the most diverse city on the planet to make truly personalized medicine. So thank you so much for your support, Eva. Thanks for taking us on, and just thank you to everyone here who's made it possible for companies like us to thrive here.
I think you're beginning to get a flavor of our companies. Our last speaker is Ihsan Yazdi. He is a former student from Downstate and has started his own company.
Good morning, everyone. As a junior entrepreneur, it really gives me chills of excitement and inspiration to see all the support in this room today, and I'm very grateful to that. So, as Eva said, I'm a former PhD student at SUNY Downstate Medical Center. I graduated back in 2011. And I'm a co-founder of NomoCan Pharmaceuticals, which stands for No More Cancer. And with that, we formed this company around a technology that we developed across the street in our laboratory at Downstate, which is a potent anti-pancreatic cancer drug. And so pancreatic cancer being the most devastating, the most aggressive form of cancer, we hope that we will have big news coming out of our company by next year, where we're planning to enter clinical trials. Now, with that, I would like to actually refer to the Lieutenant Governor reference of baby steps. We are really taking baby steps. We are the youngest company, or one of the youngest companies in the incubator now. We turned 1 year old last month. So we literally started from scratch, meaning that we had to register our company, we had to obtain exclusive license from SUNY for our product. We raised money with that. We raised about $1 million over that technology. And we set up our lab across the street right here. And we did the hiring. So we have 2 employees now. The first employee is myself. A graduate of SUNY, and the second employee is also a graduate from Downstate. So we have a local technology in a local environment set up with local people. But as a young company, we are always looking for support and free things around the city and the state. So if you look for us online, you would see that any free program that was out there, we registered for. And we are very delighted that we were part of, I would like to mention 2 of the programs from the city and the state which helped us dramatically. Number 1 is the EDC-sponsored Entrepreneurship Laboratory program in New York, which for me as a scientist coming from the bench, it enabled me, it opened up my eyes to a lot of different things that involves with taking a company off the ground and rolling. And so I'm very grateful to Mary Howard, who runs the program, and to EDC for that matter. Where we are today really depended on the links and the networking that they established for us to take advantage of. And number 2 is the Startup NY program, which actually enabled us to move into the Incubator here, which is a beautiful facility. Congratulations to Eva for making such a high-tech, very standard laboratory space for us to work in. And it has really helped us to, as a young company, to attract these people to come from Manhattan and other places to Brooklyn and to do what they need to do. I always thought it was just the money that you have to have, and then you go out and you hire people. It's actually the project, and that we can excite people and say, you guys are going to be part of it if you come to our company. If you take the 2 train down to Winthrop, you get off, you're right there in NomoCan Pharmaceuticals. So with that, and with the help of the incentives that we get, the tax incentives that we get, which are attractive for people who we hire, we have now grown to 2 people. And we are looking for another 2. And we only start with Downstate before posting our jobs elsewhere, because we want to be local. We want to establish this connection between our company and Downstate. And so with that, I would like to thank you all for the inspiration. I think, as a young person who comes into this, there's so much competition out there. We need support, and I am very grateful to what we have received so far. Thank you.
So now we're going to have the ribbon cutting, and then we're going to take a tour of the incubator and meet all the wonderful companies. Okay, so will everyone come up and